I hit this button. There's a button right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
On OBS, right?
Yeah, I should be live.
Okay, let me check for you real quick.
Says
Yeah, it is right now, actually.
okay, I'm definitely live.
There we go.
Oh man, that was crazy.
All right, good. So you got everything situated. You didn't adjust Discord, so it just shows Discord. Remember what I taught you, the little arrow, so you can.
Yeah, so I hit news.
No. You hit Discord, right? And then you see a little little red boxes. Just minimize that to where it's just your face or something. That way, people can't see what servers you're in, etc., etc. I mean, it's up to you. I mean, I personally don't like showing people like certain things, but it's up to you.
Yeah, so am I showing the news thing or?
Yeah, yeah, of course. All right, let me see if my thing works because I haven't done this on YouTube yet. Oh yeah, it works. Yeah, look at that. All right, cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So I think one of the tabs I don't have the news article open, so I think I got to do that.
okay. But the problem is your OBS is it's capturing the whole Discord and it's not showing the news article.
Yeah, I gotta.
You go on OBS to adjust that.
Yeah,
I gotta
try.
make I gotta make yeah, I gotta make a tutorial for everyone. That way everybody can figure it.
Yeah, now I'm trying to find the article.
Well, it's in the Discord channel. When you go in the general chat, it should be in the. And welcome, Mr. Peanut Butter. How are you, sir?
Yeah,
Welcome to the stream. It's good to see everyone in here. I am Tassine Voces, and I am here with NVCAP, and we're going to go over some articles that we came across in regards to human trafficking and child abuse. Right now, we're trying to get NVCAP to pull up the article in regards to Lemoore Union School psychologist arrested during sex trafficking sting, district officials say.
yeah. So it's general.
Yeah, go to general. You see text channels? Click on general. No. Go. I
Yeah,
can
text
see
general.
every. No, no. Go back to the server. Go back to the server.
Right here.
No, back to where you were, where it showed that we were in the voice call. You see where it says the green camera? Yeah, click that. There we go. Click it. Click it. Okay. You see where it says text channels?
Yeah.
Yeah, click on text channels right there. General. Got it. You got it. Come on. Yeah, right there. Okay, now scroll through the articles. Okay, there we go. Now pull it up.
Oh, okay. All right. Now we're good. Let's click it. That's it.
Yeah, it's pretty much click it. I wish you could set it up like I told you, because it would be a lot more efficient. That way people can see the article. But it's fine. It's fine. But,
Oh, okay. Now the OBS thing. All right. Now it should.
okay, go on my live stream real quick.
Your live stream.
Yeah.
Like view it. So, wait. Well, when you say like your live stream, what do you mean?
Yeah, just it should look like what I have, where I have like the article set up, and then I have the video thing set up. Hold on a second, I'm getting a message right
Oh, wait.
now. I mean, regardless, you have 5 people watching, so we might as well start talking about the article.
Sure.
Um, I'll just run through the article real quick while you pull up the article yourself. So in Lemoore, California, a Lemoore Union High School District school psychologist was arrested during a sex trafficking sting in Kings County. District officials confirmed Wednesday. In a statement, the district says it was notified by law enforcement about the arrest of an employee, Christian Loeffler. Earlier in the day, the Kings County Sheriff's Office announced that Loeffler was one of 16 men arrested during the sex trafficking sting called Operation Link Up. District officials say they are continuing to cooperate with the sheriff's office during its investigations into I'm going to guess that's how you say it, Loeffler's arrest, and that it should be noted that no students were involved. The district takes its obligation, this is a quote, the district takes its obligation to protect its students very seriously and does everything in its power to ensure that it hires and retains the best possible employees, the district wrote. In response to Loeffler's arrest, the district says he has been placed on administrative leave pending an investigation. During Operation Link Up, the sheriff's office says detectives posed as a 13-year-old and a 16-year-old minors on several social media sites. Over the course of a 3-day operation, authorities say 16 men made contact with the decoy minors and asked them for sexual acts. The sheriff's office says all of the suspects agreed to meet the underage decoys at several locations within Kings County to commit sexual acts. And this article was posted September 1st, 2021. And I shall put this in the chats. That way, if you guys want to share the article or read the article or yourself, you guys can go ahead and do that. Here you go. You got the article up.
Yeah, is it moving? Is it on your end?
Yeah, it's moving. It should be moving, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is delay. Okay, I get it.
Yeah,
Um,
there's a delay.
yeah, okay.
Now, this article also has a link to the link up operation, so we'll put that in chat as well. That way people can see that. Yeah, on the article itself, if you scroll to the blue highlighter where it says 16 arrested in sex trafficking sting conducted by Kings County Sheriff's Office, it takes you to the rest of the individuals that got caught, and we're gonna maximize that
Want to
actually.
you want to go there?
Yeah, if you yeah, these are the guys. Oh, it
Yeah.
gives their names too. Open image in new tab. Oh, okay, let's. So these are the individuals that got caught trying to meet up with a 13-year-old and a 16-year-old.
Yeah, and the older ages vary. It's like 22 to 60. It's like
Yeah.
anyone 19,
So
like
where am I from? I'm from New York. Ryan from NVCAP. Let's see. Let's read the article actually because that's its own article. Hold on, let me readjust.
wait, that's just
So
saying
the
this.
oper
Yeah, sorry.
So I apologize about that. So the operation for this sting was called Operation Link Up, and it was conducted by Kings County Sheriff's Office. So the article reads as this: Kings County in California, detectives with Kings County Sheriff's Office arrested 16 men in a sex trafficking sting called Operation Link Up, which targeted human trafficking and sexual predators within the Central Valley. Several different agencies within the area helped the Kings County Sheriff's Office with a 3-day sting, which took place from August 26 to August 28. The multi agency operation included help from the Hanford Police Department, Leymore Police Department, Kings County District Attorney's Office, Kings County Major Crimes Task Force, and the California Department of Justice Human Trafficking and Sexual Predator Apprehension Team. Officials say during Operation Link Up, officials from participating agencies posed as a 13-year-old and 16-year-old juveniles on various social media sites. Over the course of the operation, authorities say 16 different adult individuals made contact with the decoy juveniles and asked them for sexual acts. According to officials, all 16 suspects agreed to meet the underage decoys at several locations within King County to commit the sexual acts. The Kings County Sheriff's Office says those arrested in the sting include, and then it lists off the names of the individuals that were caught in the sting. The first one being Edward Zunig, 35 of Hanford, Christian Loeffler, 35 of Leemore, which was the other article we were reading before about the school psychologist, Miguel Guracha Gomez, 29 of Visalia, Timothy Ranking, 60 of Exeter. I'm not going to even attempt that name. Neza Coyote, 59 of Hanford. Josephat Gutierrez, 46 of Hanford. Jose Huerta Garcia, 36 of Hanford. Domingo Martinez, 34 of Yetman. John Cha, 22 of Fresno. Alberto G. Martinez, 34 of Yetman. Chris Raymond Brown, 40 of Hanford. David Spry Burks, 20 of Hanford. Philip No Sasset, 19 of Hanford. Luis Morales, 22 of Leemore. Sergio J. Cervantes, Serna, 47 of Hanford. And Samuel Mendoza, 39 of Visalia. I probably butchered most of those. Do you want to continue reading the article? I mean, there's a little bit left if you want to
Oh,
finish that up. You can continue where it says deputies say,
yeah, deputies say all suspects have been arrested and booked into the Kings County Jail on various charges related to arranging to meet a minor for sexual acts, sending sexually explicit materials to a minor, and meeting an agreed upon location for sexual acts. Deputies also say that during the operation, detectives with the Leemore Police Department posed as adults looking to be paid for sexual acts on multiple social media outlets. Uh, Officials say during the operation, Eric A., 33 of Hanford, was arrested for soliciting prostitution. The Kings County Sheriff's Department says they would like to remind parents to monitor their children's online activity to help prevent these crimes from taking place. Yeah,
yeah, I think the one that really kind of stuck out was the school psychologist.
yeah,
So earlier you were saying that you had some thoughts on
yeah.
this one.
It's like I don't know. For that, it's like really crazy because it's like you think of you know Larry Nassar. Sure, you're familiar with gymnastics doctor.
No, no, I'm not familiar.
Oh,
Maybe not by name, but I've probably heard of.
oh
I've
yeah, probably
came.
have. Yeah, so basically, he was a gymnastics doctor for the Olympics, right?
Oh,
Um,
okay, okay. Now I know the
yeah, yeah,
case. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So what happened was like he was, a doctor, went through years of medical school, and basically he used his position to basically molest like all of the young, because it wasn't actually adults. It was, I think it was like younger, uh, girls that would be involved in it. I don't know if it was like a Junior Olympics thing. I guess like before they go into the Olympics, they would go there. I don't know. But he was like a famous Olympic doctor, and he molested like several, like a crazy amount of girls, and they actually found like a gigantic amount of child porn in his residence, and like a crazy thing. And you kind of just the crazy thing is you kind of have to like put your mind like you have to kind of like put your mind in someone like that. It's like years of like medical school and everything. It's almost like they did everything they could do to do these crimes. It's like when you see like the psychologist, um, you know, you're imagining someone who it's like, is it a coincidence that they worked near kids, or did they plan their entire life upon doing these crimes? And it's just weird to imagine that kind of drive. It's like we all have a drive to do our things as like, oh, we're gonna try to go out there, um, you know, like, do something we're passionate about, like make a positive impact. But they literally would plan their lives to do these crimes, it seems.
Well, I think wherever there's kids, there's always going to be predators. I think even on YouTube, there was that one case with the big YouTuber that son. He got some jail time. I think his name was Ashton Jones or something like that. Ashton Jones, I think something like that. But there was a YouTuber that used his platform, and even like you have EDP 45. You have like different other content creators like Lion Maker. He focused on Minecraft and stuff like that.
Yeah,
There was also an individual, I forgot his name. It was a while ago. I came across the article, but it was in regards to an individual that played Minecraft, and he used Minecraft, no, not Minecraft, Fortnite. He used Fortnite to get victims and stuff like that. So I mean, it's kind of crazy to the extent that these individuals will go to in order to get access to victims, and it's terrifying that we're talking about an 8-year system where they have to go to extensive training and universities and etc. to get qualified to become a doctor. And then when they get into these positions, they tend to abuse, people that, expect them to do their job. And it's kind of it's terrifying that these individuals are willing
um,
to do, like you said, do this whole process in order to do this thing. It's insane,
yeah, but
and we
oh, sorry.
you see it. We have, I mean, I think CC Unit recently caught like someone that was in the healthcare field, and it's just crazy. Even law enforcement.
Yeah, it's like I mean, it's kind of like a kind of like a question of whether they happen to be like going into what I'm kind of saying is like it's kind of like a question of whether let's say they happen to go into like maybe the field of like as a doctor, or let's say they happen to be like a school psychologist, let's say they happen to do that, and then they're a predator and then they're able to use that position to abuse, or is it the other way around where they're actually seeking those positions like just to abuse? It's kind of like you wonder if like because we're talking about like EDP, having this like platform and everything, but it's kind of like you wonder if it's like the other way around, or a combination of the two where they're not like they're in their position, they happen to be a predator, so then they're going to use that position, or is it the other way around where they're actually seeking like those positions, and plan their entire life just to do these crimes? I don't know, it's crazy.
I don't know. Like I wouldn't. I don't know. No one really knows. I mean, you could like there's different variables to this because there could be the individuals that do plan their life on this one malevolent desire that they possess. But maybe there's some people that just I don't know. It's really hard to say, because there could be different variables through all these cases. Because maybe people realize that they have this sick desire, and then they decide to act upon it and not have any previous thought of doing such a thing. So it could be many factors into it's not good to like generalize all of them, but at
Yeah.
the same time, like you know, I mean, if we have statistics, I think it would be easier to determine. But I don't think it's something that an individual will say, like, hey, like my plan is to become a doctor or a pediatrician to, touch kids, like so it's very hard to say in those regards.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of seems like almost there would be like a connection to because like based on my interviews with actual predators and everything, it seems like there's a connection to being a psychopath to these crimes, or like psychopath in the sense where they're not gonna have like, it's hard to explain, like they're not going to think like they're gonna think kind of in a very calculated kind of way, because it's like I feel like kind of doing kind of these kind of crimes and like trying to get into these positions and all that, it seems like it's just like cold-blooded calculation to kind of get to their predatory desires, where it's like you kind of think, you know are they it's I feel like there's a connection between being a psychopath to to these kind of crimes, where it's like you kind of wonder, like, are they rationalizing in their head, are they having second thoughts, is there some dialogue, or is it just you kind of think of like what are the thoughts, like what is the thought process, is it like a is it just like cold-blooded calculation, or is it just like, or I feel like there is like a link to being a psychopath, because like every time I have interviewed them, it's like you see almost this non-understanding of kind of the damage that they're doing. It's like, I don't know. It's kind of like I feel like there's a link between those two things.
Well, I mean, for most underlying mental illness, there's different I guess there's different variables. There's different, like, I guess I don't know how to put it. I guess there's like different things that people would respond. I wouldn't. I mean, you for some instance, like some of it could be impulse as well. Not all psychopaths are probably child molesters.
Yeah,
It's hard to say because earlier you were saying that there is a connection to the wiring of the brain,
yeah,
which is primarily why they act upon their desires and why they're not wired like normal people that have, attraction to adults, per se. But, it's very hard to say. It's just, like it's just always interesting to see how broad of like how broad these individuals spread among like career paths. You can get people in different fields like law enforcement, psychology, cooks, mechanics, musicians. Like it's just so broad that it's very hard to say that how these individuals come to the realization that hey, they're attracted to children.
yeah. I mean, as far as like what I know about like the findings about the wiring of the brain is like as far as like causing this is they said it's in the that like I remember I saw something about a neurologist saying they were trying to understand the wiring. They're trying to figure out like what is the cause, like what part of the brain is doing it, and it pointed to where they never thought it would be, but it was literally in the white tissue matter, which was like the wiring, where essentially what they're saying is the mind of a pedophile would be at least one element of it would be where instead the parental instinct would go off when they see a kid, it's it would go to the sexual instinct, and it's almost like you know it's like weird how that could cause the attraction to children just by like a manifestation in the brain where like I guess that would exist on, like it would maybe it would be connected to the nervous system, but then beyond that, like is there like maybe do some of them have a situation where like they feel bad about, or do they rationalize it? It's like there's an element of where it's their wiring, and then there's an element of what do they do next? Like what's their response? Like do they you know but it's kind of like a weird connection where their brain would connect the parental instinct with the sexual instinct, and like what could possibly be going on there, like what would the thoughts be like? It's like hard to explain like how we could understand these people. I don't know.
Well, I think the correction I think would be the gray matter in the brain, and then
Oh,
it derives from the frontal and temporal lobes that affect the pilophytic sexual preference. Because, like, I think the frontal lobe has the wiring of the brain which causes sexual desires. I could be wrong, but I mean, there's definitely the neurobiology and psychology of pedophilia. This is from NCBI, and it conducts a study and analyzation of. I think the hardest part about coming to a conclusion or coming to a definite conclusion would be the limitations of how society kind of ostracizes pedophiles. No one likes pedophiles. No one. So it's very hard to get like a control group, like a group of pedophiles, and just actually study them because that would be so much beneficial to society if we could actually study these group of individuals and see like come to like a definite conclusion, and if there is a way to like mitigate them from acting upon their desires. And I feel like it's part of it should be looked more into and should be more funded, to derive this, to stop this, to stop like them from acting upon their desires.
Yeah, it's like I think it was a point like JDQ made where he kind of said you know like we have to, at the end of the day we would have to treat people like people. At the same time they would think he kind of said like what if somehow like it was you, it was your wiring, you know um and it's kind of like I hear that, and but it's kind of like you would have to first address what are you going to do to limit the risk of that and the damage of that, and then the second question would be what's the most humane solution. So it's kind of like there's two elements of that. But I just saw an article that I found on my phone. It says pedophilia may be the result of faulty brain wiring, that they would have significantly less white matter. The study challenges a commonly held belief that pedophilia is brought on by childhood trauma or abuse. This finding is the strongest evidence yet that pedophilia is a result of prominent brain development. So I think it might be uh, maybe the lack of brain wiring that would kind of cause that. They said there was a connection between you know um, like alcohol damage if like the mother drank alcohol and then there was brain damage. But yeah, I mean it's all kinds of things like that where um, it's kind of like we would have to understand the problem and then figure out what to do. We can't be
Yeah, I
like
mean,
slapping them on
I
the
mean
wrist and
that.
having them go.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why I like to prioritize like more of if these individuals realize that they have this problem early on, just you know seek the right help, because a lot of articles and a lot of studies do say a lot of things, and it's not one factor that makes them act upon this. It's various factors that make them, and I think that an important part to stopping this is understanding, and hopefully these individuals do seek the help, like they want to be better, they want to not offend people, you know and I think that's the direction I think psychologists should look into, is or the medical field should look into, just understanding these individuals, because ostracizing them is just making them like not want to come forward and not seek help. And eventually, like, if something's left untreated, it's going to go wrong. So it would be good if they would seek help, before they commit any atrocities.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it's kind of like a crazy thing to imagine, where, because I've like kind of in these catches where you have to think of, do they have, it's like, are they wrestling with their own mind kind of, if that's how they're living life, or is it that they would just kind of act on it as if it's like, justify kind of in their own sense, kind of, because it's you know, it's like it's hard to explain, but it's like I kind of try to imagine like how they would think to arrive to meeting a kid, like on these dating apps and things like that, where it's like you kind of wonder if they're thinking kind of in a way where oh my god this is wrong, but then there's this urge and then something overcomes the other thing, or is it that that's not there at all? And it seems like that's not there at all, where it just seems like their own in their own mind, they haven't diagnosed it as a problem, almost in their own mind. When I've based on what I've seen.
Yeah. I mean, it happens more frequently than not, and it's kind of sad. Do you want to transition to another article that you find interesting? I mean, we have a few articles pulled up over here, so we're just gonna skim through it. We're just gonna read through the article briefly and then discuss a little bit about it. Let's see. The one I want to focus on right now is Mirage News. Victorian man jailed for soliciting child abuse material. A 26-year-old Victorian man has been sentenced to 5 years imprisonment for soliciting child abuse material from a Canadian child. The investigation into the man's online activities began last year of 2020 after the Australian Federal Police led Australian Centre to Counter Child Exploitation, it's abbreviated ACCCE, received a report from a law enforcement in Canada regarding an Australian social media user who was engaging in highly sexualized conversations with a 14-year-old girl. Investigators from the Victorian Joint Anti Child Exploitation Team, which compromises comprises AFP and Victorian police officer. So that unit is involves the AFP and the Victorian police officers. Linked the Swan Hill man to the accounts. A search warrant was executed at his home in Swan Hill in January 2020, where he was arrested and charged. A mobile device, a mobile device was seized, and police uncovered evidence of further offending. The man pleaded guilty in the Melbourne County Court in July 2022, and these are the charges he got charged with. 36 counts of using a carriage service to solicit CP material, contrary to subsection. 8 counts of using a carriage service to cause CP material to be transmitted to self. 7 counts of using a carriage service to transmit indecent communication to a person believed to be under the age of 16 years old. 1 count of using carriage service to transmit CP material. 1 count of procure a child to engage in sexual activity outside Australia. 1 count of using a carriage service to transmit child abuse material. 1 count of using a carriage service to solicit child abuse material. 1 count of possessing or controlling child abuse material obtained or accessed using a carriage service. The man was yesterday, and by yesterday they mean they put it over here. Okay, 6th of September 2021, sentenced at the Melbourne County Court to 5 years imprisonment with a non-parole period of 2 years.
I want me to continue?
Yeah, if you want, yeah. I just wanted to read through all the counts.
Oh, guys, I wasn't sure. Yeah, the ACCCE is committed to stopping child exploitation and abuse and is the center of a collaborative national approach to combating organized child abuse. The center, uh, is it pronounced center, by the way? Center? Uh, brings
Yeah,
together, uh,
yeah,
bring,
that word confused me. I'm sorry.
oh, uh, brings together specialist expertise and skills in a central hub supporting investigations into child sexual abuse and developing prevention strategies focused on creating a safer online environment. Members of the public who have any information about people involved in child abuse and exploitation are urged to call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-333-000 or report online. If you or someone you know are impacted by child sexual abuse and online exploitation, there are services available, advice and support for parents and careers about how they can help protect your children. Be found on Think You Know an AFP-led education program designed to prevent online child exploitation. Oh, I think that's kind of the end. Um, I kind of want to make a point here. Is it kind of seems like it's kind of a weird, almost like a paradox where a lot of the times they'll always say, if you see something, say something. They'll have all these websites to go to, but a lot of these, uh, predator catchers, they're going to be doing this. They're essentially just journalists doing stories on online predators. They're gathering information, and it's just weird that there's a huge, the lack of cooperation based on the government. But they kind of would ask it here, where it's kind of like when you submit a tip, you don't know where that's going, you don't know the impact that's going to make, and it's just kind of almost kind of suspicious where you know like because you would know as a predator, like if you're like doing a story on online predator, you would know the case directly, you know the person, you know the face, you know the name, but kind of here you're giving information, but it kind of goes into some black box where you don't really know what the outcome will be, and it's almost like you kind of question whether anything is being done, because the only kind of way we could resolve this issue would be civilian intervention. Like, there's no way that the resources we currently have with law enforcement would match the scale of the problem. We need some way to identify these predators, and then to create a safer to keep up with these apps, and to make it safer, because you know it's like we need another way than kind of like a system where people would just be submitting a tip, and then it kind of goes in some black box, and you don't necessarily know what's going to happen. It's like people need direct results. So I kind of think that that's a huge issue, where I think there's kind of a lack of cooperation between the government and like a lot of direct civilian intervention when trying to stop these predators.
Well, I mean, every government body has its own way to report these cases. The issue comes to wait, hold on a second. I gotta. Is that the loudest I can go? I guess I gotta put the mic closer to my mouth. Okay, there we
Oh,
go.
I really loud.
Sorry. Yeah, no, it's because someone's having issues hearing me. They're saying it sounds like a whisper. But I think it has to do with more of just I guess like I guess we're getting to a point in technology where it should be more easy and accessible to report all these crimes, but the issue is like the systems that the resources, the money they're putting into these new, I guess, servers. Because recently Apple was trying to use the iCloud service. Like they had a whole thing where they were gonna try to use iCloud to kind of generate codes onto what could be child abuse material, and kind of like you know companies, the whole tech valley is kind of working on this, and it seems a lot because there's a lot of data that's being transmitted via internet and all that. So I think having a sector that just prioritizes these, just running through all of these tips and stuff would be more efficient, because there's a lot of, for example, on I spent a little time with some people on Twitter, and there's a lot of people that like post and like try to get groups of people to just make communities where they would share all these disgusting images and stuff. And there's a bunch of people on Twitter right now that are constantly reporting, and no matter how many times these individuals or these accounts get reported, there's always going to be an fluctuation of more accounts being made. And it just seems like on the internet it's a harder battle to kind of just you know and that's where the whole censorship comes into place, because it just seems like an ongoing battle that's just never going to end. As technology keeps advancing, there are going to be people that are going to find ways to stay like incognito or invisible to all these other entities that are trying to fight this crime that's been ongoing for for God knows how long.
Yep.
And it just seems like it just should be more. It should there should be a fine line where government is like, hey, like they just post a server or they post a website where we could just go there and just like report the account, just copy and paste, and then they just they do their thing. They try to find the individuals that are trying to access this, that are sharing this, and just like arrest them. But it just seems that the more the government tries to do that, the more these individuals try to find ways around being discovered online.
Yeah, I mean, mainly, my whole thing on that is the way I look at it is it's like people are trying to find like, kind of a technological solution for a human problem where it will never work. Like they'll try to have like an algorithm for this or that, but what it really comes down to, I think the only way you can really do it is decoying. Like, having some form of civilian intervention through decoying where the predator will need to think that they're, you know, uh, going after a minor, and there's no algorithm that could replace that. It's like where then once that happens, then that information should be used to stop that predator, but for now it isn't. But I feel like that's the only way because there's no technological solution that could beat that. So like even if you were to hide yourself in the most best way in the world, that person at the end of the day is still going to be going after what they think is a minor. And, all that would really need to be done is to make them think that they're going after a minor, but they won't be going after a minor. I feel like that's the only way to do it. So, but it's like this lack of cooperation from the government about the lack of civilian intervention in this way, because they'll kind of throw algorithms and tips where you won't know the outcome, but then, it seems like this is the only way to really make real ground. Because if you see these, like you see like one group of people, they'll get like 200 catches in a couple, maybe like 1 or 2 years, and that could have turned into 200 predators that the government could have taken off the street, but but that but haven't, and it's kind of just like if that's just like one group of people could do that, if you just think of the scale, not everyone has to like make a YouTube channel and do it. Like it could be a form of civilian intervention through decoying, where I feel like just look at the numbers. Like if that group of people is getting that much predators, then how much could maybe some form of voluntary civilian intervention, or maybe even there could be some kind of incentive connected to it, but some form of massive civilian intervention through decoying to scale the issue. I feel like that's the only solution.
Yeah, but right now, someone in my chat said cybercrimes doesn't get paid enough, and I think that's true. I think if government were to put more resources into getting people to cooperate and want to do this more, I think another big factor is kind of like how some of these articles don't get enough coverage. A lot of people don't really see what actually is going on with this individual problem. I feel like the way the algorithms for, let's say, big tech, like for example YouTube isn't going to prioritize channels like ours. They're going to prioritize channels that get a lot of views and are advertiser friendly, because a lot of the stuff that is discussed in these articles isn't advertiser friendly, but nonetheless it is important. And no matter how many decoys you have, you're going to have the individuals that don't need to engage with these individuals because they're going to find access to this sick content. And the one thing, for example, YouTube had the issue I think a few years ago, where there was the whole gymnastics scandal, where a lot of these individuals would timestamp um, little girls, little boys in doing gymnastics routines, and then they would timestamp them where it would be in a very in a they would just timestamp certain things, and then they would comment on it like very disgusting material, like very disgusting comments. And the way YouTube handled that was they removed comments from, you know, those videos that involved anyone under a certain age, and that does not solve the problem. That's just like putting a band. That's like putting a band-aid on a boat that's leaking. Like the problem is still there. It's not being solved. It's just preventing them from, being a community, I guess. It's just like the
Yeah.
solution. The solution would be to just contact your damn politicians, because everyone has access to your damn politicians. And for me personally, if more citizens were to organize groups like on Facebook, Facebook is a great place to make groups and meet other individuals that are like minded on this issue, and just get enough people to support on this and get politicians to make big tech accountable for these things that are going on. Because I know another big problem too is TikTok. All of these social medias where kids thrive in, you can guarantee that there's predators in the comment sections saying very nefarious things. And this is going on. These individuals don't need to offend by meeting up with the child. Just by a parent posting a picture of their child, like predators are gonna sexualize a child in many forms. And the problem is more on the internet. It's bigger than it would be just catching one individual.
Yeah, I mean,
So
oh,
a
yeah,
big success when governments are able to shut down these huge websites that operate in the deep web, in the depths of the internet. They constantly share these type of material. That's a big success. Getting a hold of all those people's names through, who paid for what, I think that's more impactful to getting a lot of these individuals, because the problem is that all of this is spread all over the internet. And it's kind of disgusting that these individuals will go to any extent to produce it and sell it and get a hold of it. It's crazy, but like the solution to this, unfortunately, it would have to be us giving up our rights to privacy, but no one's going to want to do that. So if they could set up an algorithm that can actually filter and see who is searching up what, who is doing what, that would be a good step. But it's a very delicate subject, because these are two aspects of predatory behaviors from pedophiles that are in two different realms. One is in the realm that they're trying to act upon their desires, and then the other is they're just trying to get like, you know, their material, and that's good, because predators operate on different levels. Some really want to meet up with a child, and others are just fine with just getting images and just staying on the internet.
yeah. Yeah, so like I kind of actually agree. Like, I kind of want to be clear. Where the decoying kind of would only prevent them from kind of doing the actual crime, I guess. But then there's another element of the the child exploitation, the content, the child porn that would that does damage as well. And those kind of things, as far as getting those kind of things infiltrated, yeah, I mean that's kind of yeah, that kind of would require more of a technological solution as far as that goes. You know, where it's like you would have decoying, some form of decoying where that would kind of prevent them from acting on it for the most part. But then as far as the content, you would have to filter out the entire internet. Like how would you filter out the entire internet? Think about how big the internet is. You know, so I don't know. I mean, I guess the only way you could do that is we would have to just like it's mainly organizations that are doing this. We would have to find out like what groups of people are doing this. But yeah, you would have to also respect like the Fourth Amendment rights, but then also have some kind of way of tracking down these organizations that are leading that are leading to this content that's being dispersed and everything. Yeah.
Is there an article you want to go on next, or do you want me to pick the next? I'll let you pick the article because I feel like I picked the last two. So,
Yeah. Uh, well, I'll try to one.
Yeah, and right now in my chat, you have to address constitutional law that will be used against the government to say that they have been violated. And then another person said a lot of politicians are into it. Why are they going to fight it? And that is true. There are some politicians that have been caught accessing this type of material and have been caught in compromising situations, you know. So it has to be a cleansing of from the top down and the down top, you know. I feel like the laws aren't strict enough for these individuals. Primarily, like, you know, I think it's a very there's a fine line between how harsh the laws should be for these individuals, but it should be taken into consideration that what these individuals are doing is they're causing damage to children, which can further affect society in various ways. So the damage that they're doing is at a macro level, and just people don't want to talk about it. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Did we go over the man who had abuse images deleted? So he just deleted it, and then the court actually adjourned the sentence.
Hold on, I heard a theory saying that predators are the ones that are right. Based on an evolutionary standpoint, they want to procreate with whomever is in their prime. That's a fucked up theory. Let's see. Which one did you say?
Um, Man who had
Uh,
abuse images deleted pictures. The court adjourns the sentence.
where'd you find that one?
No, it says it in the general.
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me look that up real quick. General man, a man who abused delete pictures. Oh, I didn't. I closed that one out. Hold on. All right, there we go. Got it back. All right. Okay, yeah. Do you want me to read it or you want to read it?
I just gotta get it loaded here. Hold on, copy the link. Um,
And for you guys that are in chat, I'm with NVCAP. I did an interview with them, and they posted 3 catches that they did. So I'm gonna post his channel right now in the chat.
yeah. Um, so just trying to kind of confused with what they're saying. So like, are they saying just because they deleted it that means they?
Hold on, let me. I'll just run through the article real quick. I'll read it
Yeah,
through. Okay, so here we go. 36-year-old man, Carlosol man, has pleaded guilty to a raft of offenses involving. Wait, is that the one? No, it's yeah, right. Is that the one?
oh, that's the one. Yeah.
Hold on, that's a confusing article. So why does it say that on this? Hold on, we're trying to figure this one out. Man who had abuse images, deleted pictures, court adjourned his sentence. What? Okay. At the city's Crown Court, Neil Monkhouse formally entered guilty pleas to 6 out of the 8 allegations that he was facing. He admitted downloading indecent child abuse pictures, which involved Category B images, the second most serious in law. He did this in between July 9th and August 2nd. Monkhouse of Ivory Close, Carlis, also admitted a like offense involving Category C abuse image. He further admitted the following associated offenses, all within the same time period: distributing an indecent photograph of child class Category C, distributing another indecent image of child, which was Category C, distributing 2 indecent child images, also of Category C, and breaching a sexual harm prevention order by deleting images from his Samsung device, something that was prohibited by an order imposed in 2018. After legal discussion, Judge Nicholas Barker adjourned sentencing until October 15 so that the background reports can be prepared in the meantime. Said the judge, Monkhouse will remain remanded in custody. His name is already on the sex offender registry. The prosecution offered no evidence for the 2 allegations that the defendant denied involving the prosecution had said. So what he pretty much did was he was getting charged for all of these, but because he deleted the images, it kind of set back the investigation until they can until I guess they can relocate the evidence. That's kind of so. Why didn't they
Yeah,
have his phone confiscated? Why did he still have his cellular device? That
yeah,
seems
but
kind of stupid.
it's like yeah, but yeah, I kind of read it. It was like it's like the opposite of like
What?
it's like yeah, it's like the opposite of like what should happen. Like he tampers with the evidence, right? Disrupts the investigation, and then he gets rewarded. Like he really deleted off his phone. Now he's good. Is that
These
what
are
it's?
these are rookie moves right here. What that seems kind of stupid. But if he's on the sex registry already, they should this article what it should do is it should have a link to hold on, there's a comment. And when he gets at home, him and the others away from school and parks. That was the most banged up comment I read.
Wait, what? Where?
But if he's already on the sex registry, they should in this article they should at least bare minimum include the offender's name. That seems kind of redundant the way they I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna transition into this article by the Mirror of the UK. Budding actor who filmed himself having sex with a dog also caught with child abuse images. A budding actor has admitted having sex with a dog in a home movie after extreme and obscene videos and photos were seized from him, including a stash of CP. Ewan Cole, that's the name of this individual that got caught with this, Ewan Cole, was caught by police with child abuse images and a depraved video of him having an unnatural connection with a dog, reported by the Daily Record. Cole, who advertised his availability on a mainstream acting website, has had his sentence deferred for the preparation of psychological reports. Perth Sheriff Court was told that one of the canine victims was identified by its tail from another image, which was recovered by police at Cole's home. The court was told that the obscene and extreme photos and video clips were recovered by police from an iPhone belonging to the 20-year-old. Is this okay?
What?
So this is the picture of the animal he abused. He abused a German Shepherd. The court was told to file photo. I'm not sure if that's the actual dog or they just found a dog of a picture of a German Shepherd. One of the recovered films appeared to show Cole engaging in sexual activity with a German Shepherd dog. It was stated Cole has been placed on the sex offenders registry and ordered to stay away from dogs and any children under the age of 16. Unemployed, Cole admitted having an unnatural connection with a dog at his then home in Manson Crescent, Stanley, in December 2019. He also possessed extreme pornographic images depicting, in an illicit and realistic way, a man having sex with a dog and performing a sex act with a dog. In addition, he pleaded guilty to having indecent photos of children between 12 December 2019 and 3rd March 2020. Fiscal Deputy Laura Apostolova told the court confidential information was received by Police Scotland indicting that indecent images of children may be held on devices at property in Mans Terrace. So it just gives a time lapse of no face can be seen in this video. So it just gives a brief detail of wow, that's so we have an actor over here that not only had images of himself violating a animal, but also had child abuse images.
Yes.
That's kind of
So it's like a mix of pedophilia and what's it? Zoo? Is it
beast.
zoo called zoophilia?
Yeah,
Is
it's
it what?
zoophilia, yeah, or bestiality.
Or bestiality? Yeah. I mean, like, it's hard to again, it's like hard to imagine like the the thought process like of these people. It's like, do they understand like what they're doing is really like disturbing? Like, do they understand what they're doing? It's like it's hard to even comprehend like these kind of these kind of crimes where it's like you know I don't know, I can't express this, but it's like you have to kind of think of like what goes on in their mind, like what rationalizations are they making, like what kind of I don't even know. It's like really hard to imagine how their thought process could be that could lead to this. Like one thing to have like this kind of stuff, but then acting on it. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I just I don't know. These individuals are they're kind of messed up. It's just I've also came across the conclusion that a lot of these people that do seek out like indecent images of children also seek out some you know material in regards to animal abuse, and I'm not sure if there's like a link or a correlation to these two, but it seems a little bit more I don't know, it's just just kind of messed up. I just can't think of anyone doing something so vile to an animal, especially a dog. A dog is so you know loving and caring, and then just this person just it's kind of messed up. Yeah, let's switch to the next one. Oh, that one has a video to it. Um,
That's the thing. Is he saying anything about him being like remorseful of it even, or is he like,
no,
yeah, I
I
did
don't think
that.
it says he doesn't have a statement for the Oh, this article got shared 944 times. I think this is the one I mentioned to you while you were streaming earlier. And this one is insane. This one is in regard to black market baby trafficking organization exposed by civilian in China. How do I get rid of this? Because I don't want to have that. I don't want to enter my email. Are you able to get the article without? Hold on.
Yeah,
Here we go.
one moment.
Yeah, I don't. I don't want to.
It
I don't
should
want
say on
to.
the screen.
I don't want to put my email. Let me put a fake email. Ah, no.
This is fine.
I'm gonna have to delete this after this. Oh well. How do I even? God damn it! I hate when news article websites do this. It's so hard to like. I don't want to read the. I don't want to. I'm gonna have to find it without this. The stupid.
We're just trying to watch the article or like
Yeah, I can't scroll because it gives me like this stupid thing.
the ad.
Wait, is it a fake article? Don't tell me it's a fake article.
No, I mean, are you seeing like an ad in the way, like an advertisement?
Yeah, it's just telling me to put my damn email. I don't want to put my email.
All those
I have to use.
subscriber things.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
no, no.
I can't get rid of it. Hold on. Let
Yeah, man,
me.
I'm not seeing that on my end. I don't know.
Well, you can read it. I wanted to read it, but damn,
Oh. Um.
I'm trapped. Exactly, I'm trapped. I can't access the article unless I fucking subscribe. I don't want
Oh.
to do that.
Oh. Oh.
Like this stuff is in the past. It's
Yeah.
alive and well today. Yeah, like I was mentioning to him earlier. Like this isn't the first time I came across that. The one I came across I think a few months ago was the one that happened in Ukraine, where there was literally a facility. There was like an organized group that would impregnate women and then sell the babies. Like this was it's crazy. Like this happens. It's just like people when people hear it like every once in a blue moon, they think like no that it can't. But it's been happening for a long time.
Yeah. So I mean, like, so is it all like? Is it
If you
like?
can read the article, just read
Oh.
the article.
Oh. Okay. So I was reading it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Black market baby trafficking organization exposed by a civilian in China. A civilian exposed China's black market involved in the traffic and selling of newborn babies under the guise of adoption after a year-long voluntary undercover investigation. According to the paper, a Chinese state-owned digital newspaper, a civilian played a critical role in the anti-trafficking effort. The civilian, uh, I'm not gonna try to pronounce that one. Zenhai uh, Shanigan joined a baby trafficking WeChat group disguised as a barren woman who desired a daughter. After prolonged undercover work, Shangan gradually gained the trust of the middlemen and was later considered to be a suitable buyer. There was about 100 members in the WeChat group, consisting of people from various cities and provinces in China. Due to WeChat's sensitive vocabulary recognition, the group often disbands and resembles itself. New members must clearly state their needs or be removed from the chat room. I'm not sure what that means actually. It's like go backing up a little bit. When they say often disbands and resembles itself, the news members must clearly state their needs. Oh, is WeChat just like a social network, or is it like by their needs? I don't know.
Wait, what do you say? WeChat?
Yeah, I never heard of WeChat. I mean, like when they say
WeChat is kind of like the equivalent to it's kind of like the equivalent to what's it called? It's like it's a chatting service that I think a lot of the Chinese use. It's similar to what we have over here as I forget the name of the app.
what's that?
It's yeah, it's like similar to WhatsApp.
Yeah, it
So
was
there's
weird.
like some kind of like there's kind of some like it's kind of encrypted messaging back and forth and stuff like that. It's just ways it's a different way for communication. Hold up, someone in your chat said here in Portugal, a retired couple raped and killed 3 kids, got 25 years in prison. Government protect its animals from US and taxpayers pay food service. Yeah, I could see that where you're going with that. Yeah, no, like I said, like this is the second time I come across it where like there's just groups of people that there's actual hold on there's a YouTube video, I forget the name of it, where this guy goes undercover to I recommend it for you guys. You can keep talking while I look for this video, but
Yeah.
pretty much what the video is about. It's like a journalist, and he goes undercover to see if he can like buy a kid, and he interviews like different people, like the middle person, the person who kidnaps kids, the mother who is selling the kid, and it's a very interesting documentary. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna link it in the chat.
Yeah, so it's weird that you would state your needs. You would have to say what your needs are, like the purpose for using the app, and then you got to use it. Like, so isn't that self-reporting? It says new members must clearly state their needs. Like, I want to see the point of that, because like they could just lie and then yeah. Do you want me to continue reading?
Yeah, you can continue reading while I look up this video. I forgot the name of the video. I forgot. It happened so long ago. I saw it and it was just it was a good video, you know.
So it was like he went undercover saying you could buy a kid.
Well, pretty much what the video was. Malaysia. Yes, yeah, it was a YouTuber. He pretty much he went undercover. He came into contact where this woman wanted to sell her kid, and she had no connection to the kid. She just wanted money. And this guy like pretty much interviewed her, and through interviewing her he was able to find the person that was gonna sell the baby off, pretty much, like like kind of it's so messed up because this child is pretty much being sold like a puppy and like a dog, and she comes in contact with this woman that offers her money for her newborn baby, and the woman really didn't want the kid, and he goes in this adventure of interviewing these people, and then he discovers that there's a huge ring in Europe that constantly is doing this. And I'm gonna try to find a documentary. It was really insightful.
Oh wait, is
Oh,
this
I
a?
think
Oh, I
I
remember.
hold
Is
on. I
this
think I remember.
does this say
I
Dream in Pictures?
saw the devil in the eyes. Yeah, I saw the devil in the eyes is the name of it. Yeah, Eyes of the Devil. Here we go. It's by Patrick Vega. Very great video. I'm gonna post it right now.
Oh wow.
Here, I'm posted there, and then I'm gonna post it in here in your chat. Yeah, that's a very if you have time, but it's very dark, but it's very insightful on how these people operate that are running these markets of selling babies. And the problem is, like, we don't know where those babies are going. They're either going, to people that can't have kids, to very to selling baby parts, to it goes in depth in what these groups of people do with the babies after they're born, and it's all done through like no documentation of the baby. So the baby never existed, pretty much, and they falsify documents and all that. It's a very crazy story, but it's a good watch if you kind of want to know how you want to have a little bit more insight into like how these baby trafficking markets operate. It's a very good video. It's just just be warned. It's very sensitive content. It's like very graphic.
Yeah, Patrick Vega. Um, yeah, so there are about 100 members in the we. Oh, uh, is able to identify the encrypted terms used by the group to avoid vocabulary detection. For example, the slang bow represented baby. The English letter S represented sending for adoption, and L represents accepting of adoption. The two English letters corresponded to selling and buying. On June 11th, he received an encrypted message on WeChat suggesting that a baby girl would be available, followed by a phone conversation. The party that reached out to was Miss Sue, one of the alleged orchestrators. Zhu said the baby girl was expected to be delivered around July 20th at a hospital, and the price would be $17,000. She then guaranteed the baby's health with a clean genetic history and offered to be there for the entire delivery process. To further dispel buyer worries, Zhu also suggested that payment could be made on the delivery day, but only cash would be accepted. In addition, Zhu repeatedly stated that a birth certificate was not recommended because it could easily be obtained afterward. However, if requested, the birth certificate would be an additional $6,000. She explained that getting a birth certificate at the time of delivery would require the birth mother to use the buyer's identity to register the baby, which is not ideal because if the birth mother knows who the buyer is, she may decide to look for a child in the future. According to Zhu, it would be worrisome to know the birth mother could find her child one day. After thorough communications, given the entire delivery process and transaction details, a pregnant woman is usually admitted to the hospital's delivery room in the morning. For the next 3 days, the newborn will be looked after by the nurses and screened by diseases and defects. After the examinations are completed, the baby is ready to be discharged. Upon discharge, the nurses will hand the baby directly to Zhu after collecting payment. Zhu then passes the baby to the buyer along with the consent to adoption letter signed by the birth mother. Then the transaction is complete. Zhu appeared to be detail-oriented in her operations and even provided the buyer tips in advance. She suggested that it's best to pretend to be pregnant for months before the transaction occurs. Otherwise, friends and neighbors might question when a child suddenly appears. It may cast a shadow in the child's future, if not done properly, according to Beijing-backed media, I think. So, yeah, so basically for this, it's like they're gonna literally make up that they had a kid when they didn't. Like, literally pretending they're, like, they're having a kid, they're pregnant, then they're having a kid, and just to falsify everything. So, I mean, and it kind of makes sense that it's very easy for, you know, some kind of algorithm to be outsmarted because all they had to do was just use slang and then they were able to overcome that hurdle. So it's like you question like what would need to be done to actually like stop these kind of operations to ensure.
Well,
Oh,
I'm sorry.
no, no,
Are you still reading the article?
no. I actually want to hear your response to it for
Oh
one more
yeah,
minute.
no, I just noticed that I may not be able to read the article, but I'm able to look through the comments of the article. To the right of the hold on, I'm gonna post this article in the chats because this is something that does happen a lot, and people should be aware of this. I just want to run through some of the comments people have made in regards to this story. Okay, the first one, Kenneth Reagan. Hey, if the CCP can part people out and call it medical tourism, selling a whole baby can't be a crime, can it? Let's see. If there was no customers, this would not happen. It is all those good people that buy and never get arrested that cause this problem. And that is true. If there's a demand, there's always going to be a supply, and these individuals are going to supply, and the prices are going to be lucrative because there's probably a few amount of people that can purchase a baby like this. And then here's another one. I read an article about 8 years ago about baby trafficking in China, where babies that no one wanted were picked up off the street and, in some cases, put in orphanages that helped foreigners adopt the infants. Many Americans were taking part in adopting infants that no one wanted. Then the Chinese government shut it down. And then, yeah, there's a lot of comments that kind of like, feelings of birth mothers who may be the sex trafficking victims. I wonder if the real mother signed the documents or if the baby was kidnapped, if those people are charged more money for a birth certificate, some babies just get stolen from the hospitals or elsewhere. Sounds like an adoption, but with less red tape. It even sends Zoo accidentally get involved in this. Yeah, I know there were a few advocates that were saying that a lot of people that would go missing in China would get harvested for their organs. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on in China, but due to how the Chinese government operates, a lot of what happens in that country kind of doesn't get exposed to the rest of the world. There was also the concentration camps for the Muslims for in China, where they would retrain them or something like that. That I came across a few months ago as well. So there's a lot of like nefarious things that are going on in China, and it seems more recently that when companies like United States governments kind of talk about these issues in regards to China, like, like the whole Hong Kong thing, I think is the perfect example. There was a whole controversy where in the gaming industry, there's a game known as, I believe, Overwatch, run by a company named Blizzard, which is now affiliated with Activision, which actually has a lot of backlash that people are forgetting in the way those companies treated women. But that's a whole different issue. What had happened was, it even happened in the NBA. Pretty much when people advocate for China to not treat their people in the wrong way, China kind of threatens United States companies with financial loss. And a lot of people had to apologize. I think LeBron James was one individual that apologized. An esports player apologized. John Cena recently apologized in Mandarin, and because he apologized because they recognized, I forget what country, I think it was Vietnam, as a country, because I think he used to be part of China, something like that. But the Chinese government is very like, it has its grips around how it wants to be portrayed around the world, and it seems crazy how much leverage the Chinese government has to control their narrative about what goes on in their country. Not to mention, like North Korea being another one, like these governments kind of don't really share all the information that needs to be shared so we can see what's actually going on in those countries. And unfortunately, stuff like this has to be exposed by civilians because if he exposed this and he kind of put a target on his head because who knows how the Chinese government is going to act when more people hear about this news. And it's a very delicate issue when it comes to human trafficking and the Chinese government because we don't know what we're going to get. We're not sure if we're going to get the whole story, or we don't know if it's going to be censored or even wiped off the internet because of how the Chinese government operates. They're pretty much like a bully when it comes to censorship. Sorry, that's my little rant on China.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's crazy, like, because there's like two elements where they're gonna have a huge grip on, their people, but at the same time, there's so many people that there's no way you can, uh, you know, stop all the crimes that billions of people are like so much people in such a little, uh, you know, section um of the world, such a concentration of people where that's where a lot of crime happens, like where sometimes it's like these like third world countries, they have like so much people where you can't actually, it's difficult to kind of regulate, um it's difficult to kind of regulate that much people in one area, but they're also, there's also, it's also authoritarian at the same time. Sorry, are you there?
I'm sorry, were you waiting on me for something?
Oh no, sorry, I thought I lost you actually.
No, 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 no. I had to do something real quick. Sorry, I apologize about that.
Oh no,
Yeah.
yeah.
And, is there another article you want to go through?
Yes, look here.
I told you when we first initiated this, I told you I can go on for a long time when it comes to articles because I do come across a lot of them. It's just very hard to cover all of them. You know, there's just so much that goes on every day that it becomes kind of like impossible to cover everything.
Yeah. Um, I don't know if you did you go over the Minnesota donor? The Tony Lazaro.
No, we didn't go over that one yet. Hold on, let me close out the one we went over, which was the black market baby trafficking. Let me take a sip of water because. All right, there we go. All right, I'll read this article. Okay, headline lawsuit. Tony Lazaro offered hush money to minor he allegedly groomed. A Minnesota GOP donor. So this guy is pretty close to some GOP over here. Tony Lazaro now faces a federal civil right lawsuit. Attorneys for one alleged victim claim Lazaro and others groomed and recruited an unidentified minor. The lawsuit filed Tuesday in U.S. District Court alleges that Anton Lazaro's attorney offered $1,000 in hush money to the girl and her parents to keep them quiet and asked them to sign a non disclosure agreement. The girl's father refused and instead went to law enforcement. The lawsuit, which also lists the girl's parents as plaintiffs, alleges Lazaro used his power, wealth, influence, connections, and resources to recruit children so that he could prey on them. When it became clear that Lazaro had committed serious crimes, he attempted to coerce his victims and their families into keeping silent. Giselle Castro Mendina, 19, also faces charges of allegedly recruiting girls for Lazaro Medina, is the former chairperson of the Minnesota College Republicans chapter at the University of St. Thomas. So what this kind of reminds me is kind of like of Jeffrey Epstein and how he would use other females to recruit these females, these girls, these underage girls. According to the lawsuit, Lazaro and Medina targeted young women or girls on social media and introduced them to Lazaro to be used for sex in exchange for money and gifts. So yeah, this guy's pretty much running the Jeffrey Epstein operation over here. The lawsuit says that in 2018, when the girl was about 14, she and Medina became friends. In May of 2020, when the girl was 16, Medina recruited her to meet Lazaro and began grooming her, explaining that he was powerful, prominent, and wealthy businessman and political figure. From May to July 2020, Lazaro arranged for cars to bring the girl to his home on several occasions, and he committed multiple commercial sex acts against her, the lawsuit says. After months of repeated sex trafficking of the girl, Lazaro attempted to coerce her to be silent. According to the lawsuit, Lazaro attorneys called the girl's father in July 2020 and offered the family hush money and a non disclosure agreement. The attorneys allegedly suggested that the girl was aggressively seeking to defame Lazaro and Medina on social media. The proposed non disclosure agreement says Lazaro and the girl had a consensual interaction in the recent past. The lawsuit says that the proposed agreement offers 1,000 in exchange. The girl and her parents would agree not to publicly disparage Lazaro or Medina. It also demanded that they not disclose the nature of the prior interaction with Mr. Lazaro to the public, so he could continue his sex trafficking enterprise. The lawsuit says the lawsuit seeks unspecified damages, saying that as a result of the sexual abuse, the girl has suffered and will continue to suffer pain, emotional distress, embarrassment, humiliation, sexual confusion, and other issues. Both Lazaro and Medina are already facing federal criminal charges. Lazaro has pleaded not guilty to the number of charges. Lazaro's criminal trial is set to begin October 18 in federal court in St. Paul. This is one to keep. This is one to keep an eye out for. I gotta write this one down. Yeah, this seems like something Epstein did. So this is a picture of him. So I'm guessing the other picture was of the attorney, and it says a Minneapolis man has been indicted on federal child sex trafficking charges. 30-year-old Anton Joseph Lazaro, a Republican politician operative, is accused of conspiring with others to recruit and solicit 6 minors to engage in commercial sex acts, according to U.S. Attorney's Office. So he is charged with 5 counts of sex trafficking of minors, 1 count of conspiracy to commit sex trafficking of minors, 1 count of attempted sex trafficking of a minor, and 3 counts of obstruction. Wow, this is insane. And this is like someone that's linked to politicians.
Yeah, I mean, it's like he looks kind of messed up. Just like look at his eyes, like he could do a lot of the crime. I don't know. It's like um yeah, it's kind of like as far as like silencing, sometimes what happens is that's how a lot of like kids get murdered actually, where they'll actually think that the kid will tell, so they'll actually kill the kid. I can't really remember the name, but it was actually a very long interrogation that's out there. But you know, he actually, you know, he had child porn charges, but he also, did sex acts, but also he killed the kid to, prevent from getting caught. So it's like a lot of, it's kind of like a similar thing where they're gonna pretty much do anything to silence the victims, even killing them, or using some kind of legal sanction. Um, you know,
Yeah, no, it's kind of reminds me. It's like I said, this one kind of like just reminds me of the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing. Like how he would, it's just like he had a whole system on how he would target these individuals, and it's scary that this is happening. This is probably happening right now with a different individual. Yeah. So do you want to take a you want to call it a day for today? Maybe do another gather up some more articles and kind of fix up the stream so we could do a better job next time.
Yeah, now I figured out how to do that.
Yeah, okay. So anyone in chat, if you guys well, my email, my contacts are in my description. If you have articles that you want us to look over and talk about, get more coverage, because I think that's an important part about these articles is getting them out there, getting them covered. You can either hit me up to Saint Vultures, or you can hit up NVCAP, and we can maybe do this, you know, like a little bit more frequently. You know, maybe once a week or whenever we have time. You know, because a lot of these news articles, they just pop up every day. There's always a new perpetrator, and there's always more victims, and you know, it's always good to discuss these topics and just get the word out, because that is the most effective way that we can acknowledge this problem and hopefully discuss more and try to find a solution for all of this.
Yeah, definitely. Should do it more often.
All right. Well, it was nice talking to you, NVCap. It was nice going through his articles. Everyone in NVCap, take care. And yeah, don't forget to follow NVCap.
Yep. Subscribe to Steam Vouchers. It's on YouTube. I could link his channel in the
Well,
chat.
I mean, this was like a test run, so hopefully
Yeah,
we can do a better job next time. That was kind
yeah.
of a test run. I wanted to see how it would go, and it went pretty fine, I think. What do you guys think in chat? Whoever's in chat.
What
Well,
was
I don't
saying?
think there's anyone in chat.
No one in chat?
Well, yeah, it's all right. Well, take care. Thank you guys for tuning in. We do appreciate it.
No.
Great. Thank you, Nancy. All right. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna end the stream now.
Yep, I just ended my stream.